There's this massive shift happening in the global auto industry, and it's all pointing to one country. Today, we're going to break down how India is seriously becoming a car manufacturing powerhouse for the rest of the world. So let's get right into it.
So this whole story really caught fire with headlines just popping up, all projecting a massive, record-breaking year for 2025. We're talking about forecasts showing Indian car makers shipping just an incredible number of vehicles overseas. It's a huge signal that the global auto landscape is changing.
And here it is. This is the number at the very heart of the story. 858,000. Just let that sink in. That's the record number of cars, sedans, and SUVs that rolled out of Indian factories and onto ships, heading all across the globe last year.
Okay, so a number that big really makes you ask, what does it actually represent? Well, it shows that India's export engine, it isn't just running. Oh no, it is roaring to life and just slamming the accelerator to the floor. And we're not talking about a little bump here. This was a 15% jump in exports in just 1 year, from 2024 to 2025. I mean, that kind of growth that fast, it's a huge sign that there is some serious momentum building.
And this isn't just some one-year fluke, not at all. When you actually look at the trend over the last few years, the story gets even crazier. We're seeing a climb from just over 400,000 units back in 2020 to more than double that in just 5 years. Now that is the kind of steady, powerful growth that really cements your place as a serious global manufacturing hub.
Right, so growth this explosive doesn't just happen by accident. It really begs the question, what's actually driving all this success? So let's break down what's really fueling this boom. Well, it really boils down to a powerful mix of 4 key things. First up, cost. Indian cars are just really competitive on price, which is obviously a huge plus for global buyers. Second, you've got the supplier base. It's gotten so much bigger and more sophisticated, which means production is smooth. Third, technology. These cars are packed with modern features. And maybe the most important piece of the puzzle? There's this growing trust, globally, in the quality of anything made in India. And if you're wondering where all that trust is paying off, just look at where these cars are headed. The demand isn't just in one place. It's spread out across major emerging markets. You've got Africa and South America leading the pack, with West Asia not far behind. These are the parts of the world that are really hungry for affordable, quality cars.
Okay, so we know the why and we know the where. Now let's get to the who. Which companies are the key players actually leading this massive export charge?
Look, when you talk about Indian car exports, there is one name that is just impossible to ignore. Maruti Suzuki. They are the absolute undisputed leader. We're talking a staggering 46% of all passenger vehicle exports from India. That means almost 1 out of every 2 cars shipped out has their name on it.
And to really put that in perspective, listen to this quote from one of their senior execs. Today, out of 17 car companies in India, just one company, Maruti Suzuki, alone accounts for 46% of India's total exports. I mean, out of 17 companies, one is doing almost half the work. That's dominance.
But hey, Maruti Suzuki isn't the only one playing the game. Other global giants are making huge moves too. Take Hyundai, for example. They're using India as a strategic hub for emerging markets, and their exports jumped by a really impressive 18% last year. And Honda is another key player, shipping well over 36,000 cars to markets all over the world.
And speaking of Honda, check this out, because this is a really crucial piece of the puzzle for what's coming next. They are making India the exclusive global manufacturing base for their next electric vehicle. Think about that. This isn't just about today's numbers. It's a massive vote of confidence in India's role in the whole future of electric cars.
Yeah, and that pivot towards the future, towards EVs, it shows you this industry is not about to rest on its laurels. They're not getting complacent. In fact, they're looking way down the road and setting some seriously ambitious goals for the entire sector.
And this is where the ambition really kicks into high gear. Right now, about 15% of all cars made in India get exported. The industry's goal? They want to double that to 30%. And they want to do it in the next 5 years. Just think about what that takes. You have to dramatically scale up production and crack into new markets, all on a really tight timeline. But, doubling your exports, that is not a simple task. There are always going to be some speed bumps on the road to a goal that big, and right now, India's auto industry is staring down a pretty significant one.
So, the big question is, can they keep this incredible momentum going? Is the road ahead going to be perfectly smooth? Or are there some real challenges that could, slow the whole thing down?
And that brings us to Mexico. a really key trading partner, but also a potential source of a major headache for India's export dreams.
So here's the situation in a nutshell. Mexico is the third biggest market for these cars. That's a huge deal. But starting at the beginning of this year, tariffs on a bunch of Indian goods are set to more than double. This can make Indian cars way more expensive there, almost overnight, and kill their competitive edge. The only way to avoid this mess is a new trade pact. And believe me, the clock is ticking.
So that's really where things stand. India's auto exports are absolutely in the fast lane, no question. They're powered by quality, by cost, and by some massive ambition. But the road ahead has this one major potential roadblock. The real question now is, can they navigate these tricky trade negotiations to keep their foot on the gas and actually win this global race? It's definitely a story we're all going to be watching.